Hey, 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 hey. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening out there? Welcome to another edition of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey. And yes, I am podcasting and broadcasting from the southwest part of Sacramento. Let's get right down into it. The Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings. What an all around effort that they had to beat the Los Angeles Clippers 118 to 109, 109, and Intuit Dome in Inglewood for their 17th win of the year. That makes that they won three of their last four games. They have won three of their last four games, and I think they done won their last two of their last three games on the road after not having to win on the opposing team floor since December 6th. So we're seeing some improvements here, right here, towards the end of the season, and they're making that move. DeMar DeRozan had 27.7 assists in 37 minutes. He made 11 to 14 shots from the field and all five attempts at the foul line. The Kings improved 17 to 51 overall, 6 and 28 on the road. Yes, they have won three of their last four games. Pressure Achua, ooh-wee. 25 points, pulled down 13 rebounds, and had four block shots in the contest. One of those block shots was Isaiah Jackson. He just stopped it right there in the middle of the rim. They under the basket. Face up. How you going to do this? He blocked it, of course, but Jackson got the offensive rebound, did score again, but it's just that effort that I'm talking about in the paint. That defensive effort in the paint. No fear in the paint. I'm talking about this comes from Pressure Achua. Sign him up right now. Sign him up. Give him a new contract, okay? I hope he does come back next season. But right now, let's finish off this season. But since the All-Star break, yes, he has been playing well. And it's something that the Kings need to, especially with Keegan Murray still out. He's going to be out for another couple of weeks as well. Maxime Renaud, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. In this game, he hit his first 11 shots. So he was one shot off the record, which is 12, I believe, consecutive shots in a row, which is set by De'Aaron Fox when he was in the Sacramento Kings uniform. I see what's happening here, and Russell Westbrook is every part of how these starts are happening. Get Maxime Renaud in the flow at the beginning of the game, those first 12 minutes. Right away. Then Kings won't be having those bad starts where they down 10, 15, 20 points in the first quarter. That's been helping out a lot, and Maxime has been doing it. Man, I'm so impressed with how he's been playing lately. I don't know, it's still yet to be determined if he's going to be a starter in this league. I think he is a starter in this league, but I know one thing: he is a steal in the second round of the 2025 draft, without a doubt, because he is putting up first round numbers for a rookie. Salute. Westbrook, talking about Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, he documented his 209th career double-double with 12 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists to go along with 4 steals. Oh, he was all over the place on defense. One of them train robberies, one of those steals, he dropped out of the sky or something like that. He came out of nowhere, poof, thin air. And right there in the passing lane, dead right there. I think Drake said it was like a cornerback action or something like that. But that's basically what they need. I know he wanted to play well in his hometown, which he did. And we look forward more to that. We're going to talk about Russell here in a little bit here. Kawhi Leonard had 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals in 26 minutes. The Clippers, they fall to 34 and 33, 19 and 14 at home. That ended a 4-game winning streak for them. Leonard did lead the game with less than 10 minutes left in the final quarter. Looked like it was apparent ankle injury. I don't know. I didn't get that intel before I came on the air. But hopefully he's all right because they have been playing well. They've been one of the hottest teams in the since December. I think they're like 28 and 11, 28 and 12 since December 20th. and they are in 8th place, so they are still about 2 games ahead of the Golden State Warriors, depending on considering what might happen or going to happen or not happen with Kawhi Leonard. Hopefully they'll be okay and they can keep doing some damage. They did play Chicago Bulls last night, which they did beat, so they on the second end of their back-to-back. No excuses. Kings got them, and they got them at the right time, and that's how things should be done. That's how things should be done. Okay, so Westbrook triple at the buzzer gave the Kings a 68-54 advantage, their biggest lead in the first 24 minutes. They made 28 of 43 shots in the first half from the field at 68%. Achua had 7 or 8 shots he made from the floor. He made 2 of 2 from distance, 3-point distance, and he knocked down both his free throws in 17 minutes. So he made both his foul shots in that first half. Leonard had made his first 6 shots, and he had 17 points in the first half as well. Now, the Kings were leading by 20 points late in the third quarter. They let the Clippers come back to cut the lead 100-103. But the Kings gathered themselves, and they was able to outscore the Clippers 15-6, which was punctuated with a 3-pointer by rookie Nick Clifford, which ended all scoring for the game. Yeah. Matter of fact, he had a great game too. But let me go back here. I was missing something because we did say Achua, we did say Russell, but Daquan Plowden. He had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals off the bench for the Kings. Nick Clifford, he had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. So he still doing his thing as far as collecting steals. Sacramento made 48 of 82 shots in this game for 59% from the field, 12 of 27 for 3-point distance at 44%. 44%. All around effort, definitely what they need. I'm sure Doug Christie, head coach Doug Christie, is pleased with that. Now they have to come back home and face the Utah Jazz, who's jockeying for a position, for this draft lottery as well. The Kings, I think they fall like a half a game behind the Pacers. Now the Pacers still have the worst record in the league, and everything is about getting that number 1 draft pick. But hey, you win, you lose, you win. So that's the way I see it in this situation with the Sacramento Kings. So it just pretty much go from there. Right now, the Kings seem like they're doing something. And the reason why I say it was all around effort because this was a mixture of the veterans and the younger players. I know everybody, pretty big on leaving those younger players out there, and let them get the win, or at least try to get the win. But Doug just trying to do what he can do, to get through this season. That's just from my opinion. I don't know what Doug is really doing. I'm just seeing that, hey, let's just get this win the best way we can, okay? Who I put out on the floor, that's who we're going to win it with, okay? And that's what you're just going to have to deal with, all right? And see, that was one of the problems that Russell Westbrook, or one of the issues that he probably was having with the press about these narratives that just keep going on and on and on and on and on. And then, hey, finally, we in these streets. We are in these streets. And yes, I'm talking about, what was that? New Orleans Pelicans game, March 5th. After that game, when he came back and he had, some pointed questions, for the press, and some people responded, and other people, you know what? I'm going to piss down my leg and run home and get behind the microphone and talk ish. Hey, look, you can't do that. You can't do that. Not in the hood, all right? You can't be going around people's back talking crazy about them. And then when you meet them in the streets, what's up? You can't run home, open the door, and then look back and crack the door open and start talking. You can't do that. All right? Because the name of the game was, all right, you've been talking that ish the whole time. Say it in my face. Say it in my face. Now, and just to give you a recap of what's happening here, Russell Westbrook came out to speak with us after that loss to the New Orleans Pelicans. And he had some questions about the press, and he was trying to explain some things. And he didn't really specify what ticked him off. And I understand, because there's been a lot of stuff said about this team and Russell Westbrook. Okay? But he had to make it clear. Because after all that happened, and it made it around Sacramento, the state, and the country, of course, this thing went nationwide, worldwide, after he made his declaration, if you want to call it that. Russell said this is what caught my attention, because I'm sitting in the front row and I'm listening to all of this, of course. We come out here with respect, and we expect respect from you. And Russell has been respectful the whole season. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Then he said, now, you come out here and critique us, but we don't critique you. Those two right there, one of those two things that he said was pretty clear and was never brought up again, at least not among, the local media. All right. Now, I will say, I'm a fan of Jason Anderson and Chris Biederman and the work they do. They're the beat writers because I follow them. I don't follow anybody else. I follow them because they're out on the road. They know what the feel is before and after the game, during the road trips, that whole nine. Okay, and plus that, their academic background in journalism is phenomenal. Jason Anderson went to Fresno State University. Chris Biederman, he went to Ohio State. He's a Big Ten guy. He's a Buckeye. Okay, and I do know that both of these schools have great journalism and communication departments. I'm seeing that. Matter of fact, Jason ain't the only person for Fresno State who covered the Kings who has a journalism communication degree. There's someone else that I'm not even going to mention her name. Put it like that. All right. But I do know this, and this is the reason why I'm bringing it out. We do have some online influencers in that media room, okay, who are declaring themselves as reporters and journalists. No, you're not. What's that meme that was going out a couple years ago? No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You don't have the training. This is what I've learned for the last 15, 16 years since this stuff been going on. All right. Okay. The word journalist is a sexy name. Reporter is a sexy name. It ain't like you can go out and call yourself an engineer, okay, a doctor, a lawyer, a judge. All right. Okay. This right here has different components to it. And really because of social media, because everybody can jump on social media and talk like they're journalists. I don't care what it is. All right. This is online influencing that we're seeing. And at some point, Russell Westbrook got fed up with it. All right. And I'm not talking about these television people who be covering the Kings too. We got some great talent down there. Matter of fact, they came from some of the best journalism and communication schools across the country. Arizona State University. The Walter Cronkite School for Journalism and Communications. Arizona State University. Jay Gayden. Okay. He's like the third or fourth person who done worked this area, specifically sports, from Arizona State University, from that college, that journalism college. No, I don't care. Hey, you say what you want to say from me. I have a degree from Sacramento State University, okay, from the Department of the College of Arts and Letters, a bachelor's in journalism. I have my certificate. I earned my degree in an academia setting. And I think I got the best, education at Sac State too. Sac State has a great journalism and communication department. But we have some people down there, who think, I didn't have to go to school for it. I might have went to college for something else, but but I'm a journalist, okay? The only thing that you do is cover the Sacramento Kings. And covering the Sacramento Kings is not journalism. All right? Okay? And then, and I've said this before, some people have been on here. I hope you're watching now. I in this business, journalism is supposed to be objective, but it can be extremely subjective. And that's what's been going on around here. Matter of fact, it happens all over the place. Everybody got their opinion. Understand that. Okay. And this is exactly what happened in this case. All right. And that narrative kept rolling and rolling, and that snowball kept getting it. And these cats, yeah, they looking on social media and saying who's saying what around here. And a couple of them probably been here too. You're welcome to it. You're welcome to it. Because let me tell you something. This is, I have made my mistakes, especially the past couple of years. I done got a couple calls on some stuff. Trying to do do some shortcuts and piss some people off. And I understood that, okay? Because I knew better. I knew better. Never happened again. All right? Understood that whole thing. All right? But I'm telling y'all, man, look. It's not with everybody down there. It's definitely not with these television people. It's definitely not with these beat writers, okay? But there's a lot of pathological lying going in there, backstabbing, verbal, and print plagiarism, okay? All right? That's all coming from like a couple people down there. And you want to call yourself a journalist? You're not supposed to conduct yourself like that, all right? And just pure nosiness. Pure nosiness. Because after that, I was trolling one radio program, and the person who was in that room talking about from his perspective, okay, about Russell Westbrook, okay, something, and he's upset, he's offended because Russell Westbrook won't talk to him. And you saying it like, oh, you're supposed to talk to me. I'm me. I'm me. Okay, I've been doing this forever. Forever. My gosh. That's what goes on around here. Of course, I'm going to talk about it. I'm at that age where these things have to be brought out. All right. Simple as that. Because this business right here is about training. It is about discipline. Okay. And I know somebody going to steal what I say anyway. Okay. This is my practice. And I take it seriously. I take it real seriously. I go all the way back to the 1800s, how this whole thing started too, okay? And the people that I'm talking about, you are not defenders of the Fourth Estate. And you know what the Fourth Estate is? We got three branches, right? Executive, judiciary, and legislative, all right? Where's the fourth one? De facto. And that's the press. Why? Because we offer fair and balanced news. We gather information and disseminate it to the masses. We keep government accountable for its action. Go down there in that media room sometime. It's all about that person. That's why I came up to this. All right. That's how come it had to be spoken. Because there's a certain evilness that goes on down there. A few podcasts ago, I was talking about the culture of losing. And I'm talking about the Sacramento Kings franchise, because it is a culture of losing, a legacy of losing. All right. And how it permeates all outside the organization, where it seeps all into that media room too. It does. I don't know anywhere else where this stuff takes place. I tell you one thing, when I'm down there at the State House, the California State Capitol, covering politics, don't reporters down there, man, every time somebody said, with their phone, Twitter and out stuff like that, okay? They don't want nobody knowing what they're doing until they get their print out anyway, okay? Anyway, and I'm telling you, I'm working with the best down there too, okay? The University of Missouri has a great journalism communication department. There are a couple people that work down there that cover the politics down there at the state capitol, okay? There's a couple people from Northwestern University, from my home state of Illinois, north of Chicago, Evanston, Illinois. Okay. Northwestern University, Medill, I think it's Medill Journalism. All right. Tell you something about this school, this university. Now, it's right down the street from Loyola University, which is another private university. But Northwestern, that's the Ivy League school of one of the Ivy League schools of the Midwest. All right. This school, back in the mid-2000s, okay, basically, practically, literally, okay, decimated capital punishment in the state of California. They took on some capital punishment, Illinois. They took on some capital punishment cases and found out that they were faulty. So the governor at that time, Ryan, I forget what his first name, he had to do some time himself, in jail himself. Ryan, who was the governor, had to commute 200 sentences. So that's 200 people who was on death row that he had to commute them. He wasn't going to let them go. You can't let them go. Okay. But they found out there were some faulty cases on some of those cases. Those people who was convicted and put on jail and death row. Northwestern University. There's a couple people who covered state politics here that I know. One of them worked for ABC 10. The other one worked for Politico, politic forum that's from Washington, D.C. We're actually on 5 continents around the world. Okay. Politico that's the big dog around here. Okay. All right. They was more focused on Washington, D.C.'s reporting, but California politics is on hit. It is the ish around here. So they got about like 30 reporters running around here, covered round the clock, state capitol. One of those reporters that I know, it might be more, okay, came out of this university. I'm not saying she was there when, one of these things happened. I'm around the best, but then I'm around a lot of foolishness. And let me clear some things up though, okay? Some people that I don't even know if, how long they've been in journalism. They busting their tails off down there covering the Sacramento Kings. I know who they are, okay? I speak to them every time I go down there. And also, they're doing these digital things and stuff. I'm trying to keep up with them. I understand that. But it's like I said, there's only like 1 or 2 of them down there, that's really like, I'm a journalist. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. All right. Now, I've said this myself too, because I know, put it like this. Russell is the hero of the moment right now. He's the local hero. No. You can't piss down your leg and then try to declare yourself or anybody else try to declare you a hero. All right. And I say that because the tone has came down. Russell Westbrook had been respectful this whole season, right up until this point, to my knowledge. All right. A few of us, we only have the privilege to have access to the locker room before and after the game. And I see him doing his thing. I do not bother him. Because it seemed like, call it a ritual or routine or whatever, because he's sitting there. When I go in there, he's watching, the opposing team, who the opposing team was playing before they came to Sacramento. Okay. Now you talk to all those other people, that work for the Kings and his teammates and all that thing. I just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say something to him. And then if he doesn't say anything to me, get offended about the whole thing, because I'm not making this about me. We don't do that. We don't do that. Care what anybody say. Because there's an evil spirit that flows through that media room. Period. I don't feel it anywhere else but that media room. I sure the heck don't feel it down there at the state capitol, because those reporters down there, okay. For instance, Aton Wallace, Fox 40, I have to mention, hey man, this guy does incredible work on the political side and stuff. Okay, he went to USC journalism school. What's that school? Annenberg Institute of Journalism on the campus of USC. That's what I'm talking about. Russell Westbrook flushed out a lot of stuff here. That's why I'm having this conversation with you folks. All right? Because it's the true deal. And I've said this many, many times. And I'll say it probably another million times. If the Sacramento King franchise was not here, okay, probably more than half of the people that's down there covering the Sacramento Kings right now would not be in this business at all. What they would be doing, I don't know. But they would not be in the communication and journalism. All right? Now, these more skilled journalists who have degrees and stuff like that, yeah, they can go on and do their thing. They can get a job anywhere. You were born and raised here. What are you gonna do if the king? It's not gonna happen. I know this. So let's just get there. All right, because I can tell you right now, when the Kings was about to book up back in 2011, 2012, be sold to Seattle, whatever, I was gonna have to leave. Okay, and I've been living here for almost 40 years. I actually love it here. That's why I'm still here. But I'm not going to be in one place where they do not have professional sports. Okay, because I want to do everything. I want to be somewhere where they have professional sports and I can do other things on the side or whatever as far as journalism. That's how we do it here. But if the Kings all of a sudden were to leave tomorrow, what the hell, y'all? What are you going to do? All right? Things are already changing. Fox 40, the company that owned Fox 40 television studio here, I want to say Nexstar. Well, they about to buy the company that owns ABC 10. Right? This is already in the works right now. Okay, the board of governors, they already voted on it. The company that owns Fox 40 is going to buy ABC 10. So I don't know how far that's going to go with the Federal Communication Commission, if they can have two stations in one market. There's this thing called monopoly, if that's going to happen. But it could affect some people's jobs. All right? For instance, maybe this person didn't know what was going to happen when they found out that this sale was going to go down. So maybe it's time to rearrange and run somewhere else to get a job in communication so I don't have to deal with this, which is a smart move. But usually when things like that happen, this is not a merger. This is not even a hostile takeover. They're just buying it. Okay. All right. They may have to sell it after they buy it because this is a package of like 200 media platforms. Okay. And most of them are television. And I would say a couple of them are radio. So this could affect some people's job down there at ABC 10. I don't know about Fox 40. I think they're cool. But what did they start doing? They started cutting off the head first. All the high-paying people, we done did this. They may not do it right away, but at some point they're going to do it. 1 or 2 years, they're going to do it. That's what's happening around here. All right? There's already been a couple people here in Sacramento right now who had jobs in the radio industry in the Bay Area. They're in Sacramento working. That's how competitive it is in this business. You don't know. I've been telling people this because I didn't seen it happen. It didn't happen to me. Things could be going really, really well, but you get that tap on the shoulder. You love what you do. We're going another direction. But let us do whatever we can to help you get another job elsewhere. When I went to Sac State, their thing was to make us well-rounded in journalism. That's what they do in the College of Arts and Letters. That is what they do. So I would take other classes so I could, make sure that my news writing was down packed. Okay. If I had to go into politics, here we are. Okay. Sports, always been with that day one. All right. Okay. Not weather or anything like that, but I've also had to do police and courts. Okay. That's another reason why I admire somebody like Jason Anderson. We talk about this all the time because when he said he was at the Stockton Record, he worked police in courts for 5 years. And boy, you gotta have a thick skin to cover that. Okay, I'm not gonna go on all the details. He knows what I'm talking about, but that really tells me about his skill level in this business. And I know he loved sports, but he was covering police in courts, and I'm pretty sure it enhances his reporting all around, because this is what we do. We don't stay in one pigeon. Sacramento King. I covered Sacramento. Oh my gosh, folks! I want to thank you for listening to another edition on the cutting room floor. I haven't really spoke about this whole thing when the Westbrook things took off though, but he's the hero. He's the hero. He toned this stuff down. And he flushed out some stuff. But it also keeps us all, not exactly on edge, but, keep us aware, alert about what we're doing and how we say things course, we all have opinions. I have opinions. All right. But I'm just not going to, carry a narrative. And that's another thing, too. Everybody latches on to one narrative and it goes and it goes and it goes and goes. It's time to change it up. And I know it's been a tough year, covering this team. It's been tough for me. I can't wait till the season is over. But then now you can start pivoting to what's going to happen, in the offseason. Pressure Achua. Will they re-sign him? What type of draft pick can you get? Are there any free agents that you can attract to come to Sacramento? All those type of things. Who's going to be traded? Who's not coming back next season? All right. We're talking about those things now, but you could elevate those, after the season. I have to do it in the right way. But understand this, with me, with this art, and I'm talking about journalism, I'm talking about the Fourth Estate, I'm real about this. I'm always going to be real about this. I got my ish. I got it from Sac State. So I can talk like this. I'll be back during the next road trip, these next 3-4 games that's going to be at home at Golden One Center. I don't do that, but I do appreciate this season that you've been sticking with me, coming through and hearing what I got to say. I know I went on a little bit too long about this, but I've been thinking about this whole time. Yeah, it's been having a lot of conversations, all right? This thing has resonated about how we handle things here in the local media. With all respect to the ones that I know who are journalists, you got it going on. But all that online influence and stuff right there, which is not going away, and I don't expect it to, just remember something. No, you're not. No. Nah. You're not. Stop. Hey, peace, love, and solidarity. I'm out.